How is everybody?
Great. How are you?
Good. Today we're going to talk about landscape design some more. We've been talking about landscape design, and today we're going to look at how do we consider all aspects of a landscape design. So we're going to analyze the site and the purpose of the environment for development, evaluate the impact on the surrounding environment, and then we're going to construct a filtration system. So I know y'all always have snacks and stuff, and so I thought I'd bring y'all something to drink today. Something really good. Yes, it's water.
That's disgusting.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? You don't want to come, Rachel? You'll drink it, won't you?
No.
Guys, I'm so excited today. We're going to be scientists and engineers, and we're going to determine how to filter this water. We're still not going to drink it.
I thought you just said it was to drink.
Yeah.
No, that was a joke.
Oh.
You going to drink that? All right, so listen, class. What we've been talking about is design. And so in landscape design, often you look at the pretty flowers, how the water is going to drain, all these other aspects, but we don't think about the impact that the inputs we put in the landscape have on the surrounding water quality. So what we need to do is design buffers in our landscape systems to filter that water. So today we're going to engineer and design a filtration system for different landscape settings so that we will help reduce the contaminants in our water, because our water supply is very important to our lives, and we only have a limited amount of water. It's constantly being created and destroyed, but it's very important that we have healthy water. So to do that, you have lots of natural materials that you can use to design, and so you're going to come up with a system. Now each group is going to have a different scenario. You're going to have a landscape garden, and you need to follow those questions and design your system. You'll have 15 minutes to design your system. Y'all are going to have farmland.
Oh.
What?
These are your materials. That's kind of an aid, but you design your system, how much you want to use this stuff, and then you're going to measure your materials. You're going to come up with a hypothesis, and then you're going to time how long it takes your water to be filtered. Why would the time the water takes to go through the filtration system matter? Which one did I give y'all?
If it goes too fast, I'm probably not filtering out a whole bunch.
Do a parking lot.
Oh, a parking lot.
Do a parking lot. So let's talk about this real quick before we get started. What kind of contaminants might you have in your different environments? Fertilizers, that's right. Pesticides, right. What comes off a parking lot? Oil. You're going to do a landscape garden. Gasoline.
Cigarette butts and other stuff.
Right.
Trash.
And also other soils and things from erosion. And so we want to keep that stuff out of the stream. So what I want y'all to do is go ahead and just hypothesize how much you want to create of each amount. These are your filters. They have holes in them. You can use any of these materials, all of these materials, and you come up with your own system and put it into place. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't think so.
No?
It was just water.
I wanted to tell you too that I want you to use your cell phones today. I want you to photograph your process. I want you to photograph or video, sketch, like read through. You have different ways that you can record. You will eventually present your experiment.
You can go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I guess, never mind.
There is some sod up here that you can use also. If you want to cut a piece out, just be very careful with these utility knives because they are sharp. And I think that's all.
So once we get our What we want to put in here. I think we'll put it in there and see how it filters out.
Right.
Okay, that was my question.
Right.
It was like,
Yeah, you want to design, you want to you can photograph it, you can sketch it in that space, and you write out what contaminants you might have, and then think about the actual area you have and how to apply it. You know what I mean?
Hello?
Yes.
So, we're doing parking lot.
Yes,
Are we
you are.
supposed to design a filtration system of a parking lot? Or
Well,
like where
it's
the water would
coming
run?
off of the parking lot, so it could be like a buffer.
Okay.
Like strips.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome.
That was so insightful. So
We ain't gonna use ground.
should we do smallest to largest? I feel like that was it.
well, I guess we could put it on top if we wanted to. Okay, so
Yeah, so I guess we can do that first.
yeah. What about things that come from the house, like I don't know, like if you have like your dryer, like kind of like blow it out, like yeah, that's in my house, like takes down right up, we got the flower bed, so.
So you say
Like households.
This is absolutely ridiculous, but my timer I set and it's not working.
You're at 17:26.
Like counting down, I'm at 17? Okay.
So we got so our hypothesis would be to figure out which combination of these would filter the
Would
best.
filter the best. Is that what we're thinking of?
Now, you also want to consider that you do want the water to flow through it. Because we don't want it to go across the top.
Here we want it to be clean.
Yes. And you probably want to get started and just kind of jump in. Because we're only going to have about 10 more minutes, and it's going to take some time for your water to filter. Y'all have about 10 minutes. 10 minutes to complete your construction and start to filter.
So do we want to do this and then
You think there's a time period of saturation that it has to take before it'll go through?
I think so. Knowing that mulch is an organic material, I would assume.
There you go.
Oh wow.
So that like the sand doesn't
yeah, she's having their cut up. There's like a patch down there. Yeah. Or if you just want
If you want a cup to use a cutout,
That'd be great. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Hey, cut me one too.
Yeah, I see some groups that don't have Oh, this is still fine.
Slowly start.
It's a little slow, but
Yeah, it has a saturation time period, and then it'll start working.
slow and steady is what
Yeah.
we're doing here.
Trey's gonna drink some after.
Okay, so we have another question. How will you test your filtration?
I know you all are doing a good job with construction, but you probably want to speed up if you're going to have time for your water. It takes some time for it to kind of start to filter so you can see some results. Well, it's good. It's gotten all those impurities out.
It's a little yellow.
It is.
Why do you think it might be yellow?
Why do you think it might be?
Because it's still a dirt one.
Yep.
There's still, we filtered out the water with other organic materials, so that might be why.
Think about.
There might be iron in the water, or lead.
It's very true. Think about what you might want to do differently and what might help.
Well, we said we could have separated the filters out, but John said we shouldn't. He works at Starbucks.
Okay. Has y'all started? Yeah, it's moving.
I'll try.
Are y'all timing it?
See, I don't think they're
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Ours is tremendously cleaner though. Look at that.
No, wrong.
Fake news.
It's a race, isn't it? Turtle race.
Hey, the
It looks clear though.
wins the races. Hope said a minute ago.
What made you put the rocks on the bottom?
We dare to be different sometimes.
Okay.
Like we have this picture.
What's your bottom layer?
This is a great
Your paper and
picture.
rocks and sand together.
Okay. Yours is starting to filter even more down in the bottom.
Recording observation. That's one too.
Oh, ours is clear in there.
Yeah, it looks good.
How's it been looking?
What you got up here?
Oh, that's
A
that.
little special sauce?
That was the sauce that came on top.
Oh, look at all you filtered out already.
We bad to bone like that.
Yeah, you are.
Still dirty. I know.
How are y'all coming in your questions as you wait?
We're on the last one. Well, we have to get our time, and then we're contemplating our last one.
Okay.
Yeah. This is my diagram.
I like it.
Thank you.
You did a good job drawing.
He suggested the labels because he didn't like my drawing. What is yours doing?
Do y'all have any examples of this you've seen in the landscape? Golf courses? What about golf courses?
They use rocks underneath their sand pits.
And and on their greens. But what about like the water flowing off of a piece of property?
Yes, because it's not permeable. It just kind of
Runs off.
flows right off. Where I'm from, we have a lot of swamps because water also doesn't filter, so it just kind of sits there.
It's saturated. Yours is faster, a lot faster. She said yours is dirty. I know she's talking trash.
I think we.
Let's see yours. Let's see yours.
I think we started a little bit earlier than other people.
Let me see.
It will become cloudy.
It's dirty too, ain't it?
Okay. Stay in your group. Stay in your group. Assess your own results. How was y'all's filtering?
It's slow, but it's clearer than John's group.
Yes, it is.
Do you hear that? Miss Bell said ours was better.
Ours is more water.
Okay. We're going to discuss it at the end of class. You just evaluate yours. And did you draw your drawing? Did you photograph it?
Yep.
Well, we're waiting until it's done to photograph it. Because the
So
filter
you can take the
comes out
filter
several
off.
layers.
That
I'll
sounds
do a quick.
okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just say, if I pour this out and pour water in there, we win, right?
No, you would cheat. And cheaters never prosper.
Fine, Miss Moseley.
Are you helping her with the questions?
I am. We were talking through it.
Okay, good. Good.
She's right now because she had good handwriting than I did.
What about, do you want to do the sketch? Do you like to draw?
I don't, but I will.
Good.
You asked.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
She looked at me, she goes, "Oh, where's your friend?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Oh, wrong person. What do you need?"
All right, so based on what you've done, what would that look like in the landscape?
This filter looking thing?
Yeah, this filter. This filter is to help us determine what we would actually do in a landscape to help filter the water. So what would it look like in the landscape?
What would we do, or what would it look like before we fixed it?
What would we do? Like, what would we design and implement in the landscape that would act as this filter?
Just some like structured ditches, maybe open French drains or just strips throughout fields and stuff with lower areas, so the water's draining that way, and then it goes through this process and is deposited somewhere else to help get rid of laying water in the fields.
Yeah, and that's part of the design too. Like, what we would do if we had more time is we would repeat the process, and you could try out different.
I think surface area makes a lot of difference. So if we were to expand this and pour that same cup of water on it, if it had more area to disseminate,
Then it would expand out.
'Cause
Sure.
now all that water's going through the same pathways and stuff, and the pollutants and what else clogging
Clogging those pores.
Right.
That's true.
Ours is just
It's my theory.
really slow.
Now, in your own farm, do you have systems in place around your land?
I've seen some.
You've seen some? Does anybody else have any farmland that they have any representations of this?
Our uncles have put in cattle troughs that have gravel underneath them to help the water.
On the property?
Yeah, help drain it so it doesn't stay rushing all the time.
Yeah.
No. It looked like the side brought up.
All right. How many people feel like their filters have gotten to a really good place? Y'all's have? Yours looks really good. Hush. Okay, I want y'all to take a minute with your partner and discuss what you would do differently. How would you redesign it? Do you talk to Holden? Oh, you discuss it?
Yeah,
you discuss it.
Questions.
Does everybody else kind of have discussed it?
Well, we probably make it bigger.
We're going to talk about it in a minute. Just you discuss it with your person.
Like two in here and one on the other side.
Of course, that clogged, so we have to squeeze it out.
You know, I was doing that with mine last night, and it seemed to work better to like release some of that.
It's getting stuff between the coffee filters and the side of the cup. Mm-hmm. So it's probably not getting as clean.
See, it like fills up, and then when you squeeze it, it gives it like some pore space to get down through there on the sides of the cup. It's like where the wrinkles in the cup.
All right. Okay, does anybody want to share what they would want to do differently?
We said put more like the clean materials in there so that like the dirt would like get caught by the clean material. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, so you mean more like the sand and gravel as opposed to the organic materials? Yeah. Okay. What do y'all think?
Theirs are ours.
You think the same thing? What they said? Do you agree with them?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're agreeing to?
Yeah.
What?
I heard she's talking about putting more sand and gravel in
Okay.
instead of the organic material.
All right. Now, what would y'all do differently?
I think we're working out well, but just like we stated earlier, like I feel like if there was more space,
More surface area?
yeah,
It would drain
like
better?
the design of this filter here. You know, it's in this thing over here, so it didn't spill. Here.
Ooh, what happened to y'all's? I pushed the side and it was holding like a vacuum. So I pushed the
So-
side in and
And it helped give some air to it?
yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like the surface area would give more room for that
For the water to
filtration
drain?
process.
Sure. What do you think?
We thought that you could separate out the filters, maybe put like a filter inside the cup and a filter outside the cup, and that might be able to catch some of the better. But
Sure.
we also didn't use the turf, so I'm interested to see how the turf affects it.
Let's see. Those y'all two use turf and you use turf? Okay.
Everyone used turf, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We did not use the turf. But also, who puts mulch above the turf, like on turf, and who puts it below turf?
We're trying to be
Well,
aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for using different things. So that was my next question is
A parking lot.
they have a parking lot. That was my next question. So do you see the application for this in the actual landscape? Like, do you see how this applies? Were you able to see how this applies to the landscape? Well, what do you think, like, so you have a parking lot, so you think maybe grass would be better than the mulch?
I think mulch would be better than grass because it can absorb a lot of water, requires little maintenance, and like it's hard to grow grass sometimes in those little islands in parking lots, whereas
Right.
mulch would get some stuff.
That's true.
And you don't want to like pour oil on grass. That would be harmful to the grass.
But plants can take those contaminants in a way and they help. So that is a positive thing that plants do is they can take those contaminants and use that water and not, keep it from going into the water supply. Now yours was, what was yours, landscape garden?
Yes.
So you would put grass around your flower beds basically to help? Okay.
Pesticides and fertilizers.
Okay, all right. Okay, class. Today we looked at what is important. The essential question was, how do we consider all aspects of the landscape? And so today we just really looked at the environmental impacts of the designs that we do in landscapes, whether we're working around farmland, a parking lot design, or landscape gardens, recognizing what those contaminants are and how to purify that water. And we analyzed the landscape site and the purpose of the development. We evaluated that impact on the surrounding environment, and then we constructed a landscape filtration system to reduce those contaminants. And in a future class, I would like for us to test out some other systems to see what works best. Does anybody have any questions? 2 minutes now.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
So this is not clear water.
Right.
Why is it not clear water?
Well, if you think about it, dirt and other things color. The mulch has a color, so they're just tints to the water. Now, we would have to test the water to see if there's anything in it, but the filtration system is meant to reduce. It's not going to completely take out all contaminants. Like, you wouldn't necessarily be able to drink that just like that because there are microbes and other things that we can't see in that water, but it reduces a great amount of the contamination. Yes?
Why did our water smell like lemons?
Well, instead of motor oil, for your safety, I put in some lemon olive oil. Sorry.
Lemon olive oil.
Lemon olive oil. And it smells much better than motor oil or antifreeze, right?
I thought it was pledge.
I thought it was
No. No, it was... Friends have given me all kinds of smelly infused olive oils that I never use. Yes.
If you were going to make a filter, how would you make one?
Good question. I would probably use a rock base and to hold in the sand, and then I would put, you know what? I probably would put the sand below the rock because the sand would probably clog the rock. So I'd probably put the sand at the bottom on a coffee filter, and then stone, and then probably another coffee filter like a silk screen, and then soil and grass or mulch. Because you got to think about how each one of those things is going to wash over time and like trap those pores and all. So, good question.
So what would the filter paper, I guess, represent in like an actual setting?
A silk screen. That was my. I think I wrote that on there, but yeah. So like oftentimes on construction sites and all, they use that landscape silk screen to kind of hold in